Hello and welcome back to another video in the world of Monster Hunter. This is the Empress Big Styx, and continuing on with the slight theme of different charge blades to use other than the overpowered Diablos Tyranis II and the Taroth Strongarm horn. A current favourite for a lot of people seems to be the Alma Styx charge blade, simply because it has natural white sharpness, and adding in the razor sharp skill that it comes with naturally does seem to be a hell of a plus in keeping up the white sharpness damage multiplier, which does really help in the long run. Adding in the fact that it has blast proc, you could argue that it could kind of make up for the damage loss, just because it's not as broken as the two aforementioned charge blades. It does still lose out even with the blast procs that you will be getting. We're not building for the blast because there's not much point. I think just only once I have managed to get a fourth blast proc with and without the blast skill, and beyond that it does seem to be a bit fruitless, and that's only on things like Valhazak, just because they have that little bit more health. It was quite simply the blast proc that killed them. So like I said, we're not building for the blast because you will be getting blast procs regardless. As you can see, we're going to be doing a little bit more damage with our files, but generally speaking this weapon is pretty darn good, and it looks quite appeasing as well. It's a bit fluffy around the edges, but generally speaking it's just quite a nice charge blade to use. And of course it's the status symbol of look at me, I've got Luna. So without any further ado, let us head into the skills and equipment. Now this build is generally very akin to the previous build for the Dod-Regnbue charge blade, but we have more decorations on the weapon. So for the Alma Styx, we're going to go over health augment as well as charger and mighty Kaiser Gamma helmet with 2 tenderizer decorations, Damascus beta chest with 3 attack decorations, Kaiser Gamma gloves with a magazine decoration, Valhazak Gamma waist with tenderizer and another 2 attack decorations, and then Kaiser Gamma boots with a flawless and an iron wall. Finally, we have the artillery charm 3. Now you could argue having both Master's Touch and Luna's Razor Sharp is a little bit overkill, but mainly the set is there just for the very large amounts of critical eye that the set gives. But effectively, even if you're not hitting weak points, you shouldn't really lose sharpness at all. For when you do crit, you won't lose sharpness, and when you don't crit, you only lose sharpness at half the standard rate, which is really handy for keeping your white sharpness multiplier up. Other than that, we have 5 points of attack boost. 4 is all you need. So if you have something else that you would like to put in there rather than attack decoration, go nuts. This set does have focus free thanks to the slot decoration that we have on the weapon. Artillery 3 as standard, as it is impact file. Weakness exploit, you never really have a build without weakness exploit. Recovery speed, this is kind of handy, particularly when adding in the simple fact that we are using the 1 decoration of flawless for peak performance. However, the same with the 5th attack decoration, if you have something else that you want to use, a little bit of quality of life, feel free to remove that flawless. It is there partly just to help keep your EFR, your damage, up and a little bit higher, as well as, honestly, I don't know what else for me personally to put in. We've only got one maximum might, which is all we need for the 100% affinity. Guard level 1 from the Iron Wall Jewel, this is really handy. And finally, that dragon attack is still just a side effect of the actual set itself. Now, the interesting thing about this particular random build that I have come up with is the Diablos Tyranis II or the Taroth Strongarm Horn have, depending on whether you go for an affinity or a damage augment, has about 349 to 350 EFR. This build, as long as you have peak performance active, has 354. So effectively you're gaining between 4 to 5 more EFR. And I'm aware that probably doesn't sound like a lot, and generally speaking you're not really going to see a large amount of difference. In fact, utilizing the damage calculator on honey hunters for each individual attacks, the super amped elemental discharge for both weapons will dish out a grand spanking total of 636 on a crit. Both builds will do this, and each individual file explosion is 79. This is for both builds. So technically speaking, you could really argue that these builds are effectively equal to each other. The only difference that I would say that really comes into it is just 1, your playability, and 2, those lovely blast procs. Now, at the start of this video I did say that this build doesn't really compare to those two weapons, the Diablos Tyranis II or the Taroth Strongarm Horn. However, with that in mind, the only reason I say that is quite simply because I'm not getting the same clear times. Although statistically this build is ever so slightly superior. However, I am still getting quicker clear times with the Taroth Strongarm Horn, mainly because I don't really use the Diablos Tyranis II anymore, but still, that is just me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys pretty done soon. Have fun, good luck, and don't die. It's bad for the health.